Well, I bought some stuff for gifts for a couple people and realized when I got home I don't have no stinking bags. So I am going to make me one, okay? I've made these before, but they weren't this good. I need this one to stand up. So I'm using the Heat and Bond Light Sewable that I bought the other day and shown in a haul. And this is tear away stabilizer, but it won't tear away. So I always use it when I'm sewing, and it's do you hear that? It's a thick, and it's like paper. It's not fuzzy. It won't fuzz up. Now, it's going to be hard to deal with because you're going to have to turn this, but it'll work, okay? And then I have one fat quarter, and this came from Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my fat quarter, and I'm going to put my selvage edges together and match them. Actually, I'm going to use this one because it's a raw edge, and I'm going to be using a raw edge and a raw edge. So what I'm going to do is, sorry, when I think I stop doing whatever I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to take this, and I've already made one, okay? And so I'm going to show you how I done it. So I'm going to take my fabric. Now you can cut these any size you want to, okay? However big you want your bag. Almost said however big you want your bag. But I am doing these. It's nothing major going in here, you know. I just need a little stinking bag, that's all. And it's going to be cute, okay? They're cute. And they're so personal. You can use them later. I don't know what in the world for. You can give them, again, as a gift bag if you want to. I don't really care what you do with it when you get done with it, you know, or what they do with it when they get done with it. But anyway, I'm going to cut it 10.5 wide, okay? It's going to be a square, but it's not going to end up a square. No, I'm going to cut it 10. 10 wide, because my other one was a little fat. So I'm going to do this in 10 wide, okay? So, dadgum. I moved. Y'all, life ain't perfect. So I had to pause that because I'm having a coughing fit. I came out of the wild blue. You know how it's allergy season. You know how that mucus stuff goes, itching your throat, which is really gross. But anyway, we're not going to talk about it because it's yucky. But anyways, we're just going to cut this, and I'm going to cut mine out of 10. Okay? Whoop, 10. There you go. And then I want it, you know what? I'm just going to leave it just the height it is. You know, I'm telling you, there is no rhyme or reason to these bags. But you see, one's upside down and one's the right way. So I do have to cut this in half. Okay? So I'm going to have to cut it at the bottom. I'm just going to hold down and pull with my scissors to cut that straight as possible. Now you have your two pieces. Okay? See there? There they go. Now I'm going to take my Heat and Bond Light Sewable, okay? I have to cough again. I got so tired of that I went and got my Chloraseptic. Y'all, if I pause now, I'm going to shoot it down my throat. I don't care. That should work for a hot minute anyway. I don't know. Oh, the struggle is real. So I'm going to take my Heat and Bond Light, wherever I find out where the world... Now, this is all crinkly wrinkly, but it'll be all right. Let me move this piece. I don't want to get that confused with what I'm doing. Now I'm going to take my Heat Bond, okay, and I'm going to flip it over. And on the paper side, okay, the paper side. Now you can cut this with scissors if you want to. I'm going to go in just a hair. So I'm going to overlap my fabric over here and then down here because I don't want it, you know, to iron it. I don't want it to have no sticky getting on my ironing surface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to mark right here because I need to cut here and I need to cut here or, you know, here, whatever. So I am going to now take a ruler and I'm going to go and draw my lines here. And then I'll draw my lines here. And hopefully this won't be crooked as a dog's hind leg when I go to cut it. Now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to fuse this, whichever way it goes, fuse this to my fabric, okay? I'm going to fuse this piece to my fabric. I'm going to get it as straight as I can, and I'm going to go over to my iron, and I'm just going to iron it down. You can do this as well in a heat press if you have a heat press. I'm sure that anybody that sews, though, has an iron, and that's really all you need. Dry iron, put it down, iron it down on both pieces of fabric, okay? Both pieces of fabric. Now let them cool. Now when you iron that, when you iron this to this, iron the paper side to the fabric, the back of the fabric. Because if you iron the fabric to the paper, when you're running your iron across this fabric, it will put ripples in your fabric, and you do not want that, okay? This will make sure everything lays flat if you iron the paper to the fabric. Okay, now we're going to take, and I'm going to peel my paper off my fabric here. If my stinking fingernail will grab it. Okay, peel your paper off. Should all be stuck down pretty nice, okay? Now you have your little glossy side on your fabric. Peel the other one. Remember, you're ironing to the wrong side, okay? Now we're going to be using this paper. And let me iron it to get it flat. Now you got it flat. Now you're just going to take your fabric, put it on here, and the less cutting you have, the better off you'll be. Now, why, if my paper is, that side ain't cut right, I'm going to line this up to the bottom. Now you're going to fuse your fabric to your paper. And this is going to help your bag stand up. So you're just going to iron both pieces to your interfacing. Now you can use medium weight fusible if you want to, or heavyweight fusible, but I don't have fusible. I bought this and it didn't do what I needed it to do, so I use it for this. And sometimes I baste it with basting spray, but this time I'm just using this Heat Bond Light because I want it stiff. So I'm going to go iron these two down. Now all I'm going to do is take my scissors that are not for fabric, because this is kind of fabric-y, kind of not fabric-y. And I'm just going to cut my squares out, okay? Just like a pattern, just like I'm cutting out a pattern. But it is a stuck down pattern, which is a blessing. So I'm going to cut my squares out. And you do want to iron, when you iron this down and fuse it, just press it down. Press before you start smoothing the iron out, okay? And that will cause, keep you from having wrinkles. I almost said it would cause wrinkles, but it will keep you from having wrinkles. After I get them cut out, okay, I'm going to take these and put them on top of each other. Now, you do want, when you sew these, to have a heavier needle, such as a 12 or 14. I would do a 14 because this is thick. Depends on how thick you get yours. You can serge it as well, but there's no need to serge it because these ravels that are here, they'll only unravel so much because it's glued, okay? So it's not gonna come undone. You can pull and cut, but it's not gonna come undone. So it's not gonna be all nasty inside. And I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to cut, good Lord. I'm just going to sew straight down, straight across, and straight up this one, okay? And leave the top open. And you can make your stitches however you want. I'm going to have mine like I always do, with my edge on the presser foot and my needle over, because I want more bag than I do a seam. So I'm going to go sew this one. Now I have this. Now I'm going to take this, and I am going to, this is going to be complicated. Find your middle, put it down in the middle. Take your hands like you're making a puppet, okay? This is how I did this other one. It came out perfect. But anyway, now it looks like a fortune cookie, doesn't it? Now take this, pinch it together, take your bag. Now you got to work with it, okay? You got to work with it. And it's very pretty when it's done, I promise. It's just, it looks like a booger to get done. Now you want these even, okay? So you just pinch down the bag, okay? Pinch down the bag, that's all. Pull from the inside. Line these two up. Push that one up. Oh, for the love of Pete. Let me put this one in the middle. All right. Good night. I feel like I'm folding a diaper. Ah, there we go. Now we're going to take this and I'm going to line this bottom up here. These are together pretty good. And I'm going to take and cut off, let me see, if I get this here, good to, no, probably 1 3/4 inches is what I'm going to cut off. Now, make sure I'm even. I don't want to cut crooked, y'all. All right, now I'm just going to go to my machine. I'm going to fold this out and I'm going to sew here and I'm going to sew here to make the bottom of my bag, okay? Now over here at the machine, I'm just going to flap this back and I'm just going to sew it, okay? I actually recorded the wrong part and deleted the right part, but I folded the top down and made a little casing and then sewed it down just around the edge. So I have this sewn down. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to flip it inside out. Make sure you don't have no strings on it. You don't want no strings in our gifts. Okay, so I'm going to grab this and I'm going to yank it through here. Now it's stiff as a board, I'm telling you. But that's the way I want it. If you don't want it that stiff, like I said, don't use that thick of interfacing. It's just me. Now you want to push your fingers in there to push your corners out, okay? Or whatever. Now I tried a tool first on the first one, but you really have to push it out with your finger or it's not going to come out, okay? Because you got to feel what you're doing and that thing is not gonna work. If this is loud, I'm so sorry. Y'all, crafting gets loud sometimes. Now that I have it out, I'm going to take my pokey tool and I'm going to poke out my corners. Really, really good, okay? So when you iron this, you want your two sides this way. Now when you turned it out, I had it this way. But you want actually your two seams out to the side, push this middle in, fold it, and then iron it, okay? And that will make your bag where it will stand up. Right, now, the leftover fabric, right here. I'm just going to take this because it's a long piece, okay? And I am going to take this, I'm going to fold this in, and I'm going to iron that, okay? But what I want is I'm going to fold it back, and I'm going to I'm going to use this, I'm going to cut this in half. So all I'm going to do is use the whole thing like it is. And I'm going to cut, I haven't coughed since I used that but one time, a 4-inch or, yeah, I don't want it real big, 3.5 inch for my strap, 3.5 inch. So now I'm going to take my 3.5 inch piece and I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to iron it. Then I'm going to fold this one in and I'm going to iron it, and then I'm going to fold those two to itself. So I have my piece folded in, ironed, folded in, ironed. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it in half at this point because it will make it easier for me to work with, okay? So I'm just going to hold it and pull and snip. And then there are my two straps. Now I'm going to use my glue. Now some of you don't believe in this. If you don't, then don't use it. But this is my go-to glue here. So I'm going to just run this down and I'm going to hold everything down, okay? Real nice. I don't want to pin this. I don't want to have to take the pins out, stopping and all that junk. So I've got those two together. Now at this point you want to fold your end in, okay? So I'm going to glue it and I'm going to come up just a little and push down really, really hard, okay? If you have a roller, use a roller, but I'm going to push it down. And I'm going to do that on all the ends, okay? Just push that down. Now once I get that down, I'm going to set that and let it kind of dry and work on my other one. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Run a strip of glue down, press. Run a strip, press, and then you really want to glue your end, okay? Glue, press up, and either hold it or roll it in. It helps to roll it, and I got these at the Dollar Tree, okay? Nothing special, just a Dollar Tree makeup thingy. Works wonderful. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make sure you glue the end, okay? Y'all, if you use these Jot, get a big one because I go through them like crazy. Now I start in the middle and fold the middle first because you want it even. Make sure you push this down all the way. Go down to the end, push that down, and then when I roll, my room is unlevel. I'm going to roll up, okay? Just to make sure that that is all adhered down. I don't know where that little thing came from, but anyway, we'll get rid of him. All right, I'm going to do the same to this one. Now we have our straps. I don't sew the ends. I'm not worried about that just yet, but I did sew down to close them up, okay? Now I'm going to take my bag. I am going about an inch and well, almost 2 inches in. And I'm going to put this down and I'm going to sew over it where its stitch line is, okay? So I don't glue this because it doesn't stay. I do have to pin the stupid thing. So I'm going to pin it. Make sure you don't get your finger. Bring it around. Go about 2 inches in again. 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Whatever you do for this one, do for that one. Because you want it even. And I'm going to put a pin in there. Now, to get my strap even, okay, that one's on, even. I'm going to take this strap and I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put this side right where this one is so that they're the same, okay? Now I'm going to bring it over and pin it on this side. Even it up and put my pin in there. Okay, so I brought you over here, so I'm going to show you the way I'm doing it. I'm going to hold this back. Now you do want to hold it back because those pins will get you. I'm going to slide this under my presser foot like so. Okay, make sure you hold that pin back. I'm going to pull my pin out at this time, holding that down, straighten her up, and then I am simply going to stitch it back and forth, okay? That makes sure that my handle is secure. Now I'm going to go down here and hold this one back and make sure you don't get poked. Hold it where the pin is. Pull my pin out, adjust my strap, bring it under there, and I'm going to put a few stitches in, and then I'm going to pull this over, okay, because I don't have a lot of stitch space, so it has to work with me. Make sure when you're doing that, you're going over your same stitches, okay? And now I'm just going to do the same to the other side. Here is my finished bag, and it's ready to be filled. And here they are, all finished and filled up and ready to go. Thank you for watching, and until next time, you are a blessing. Goodbye.